Hi, this is Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I'm going to show you how to make this card using the Waterfront Stamp Set. This is a very easy and versatile stamp set. I really enjoyed making this card. It was so easy to put together. So this is really something for someone that wants to stamp, loves to stamp, can really do a fast, easy scene with these stamps. And it's not only a mountain scene, but it's also a tropical scene and some really nice sentiments as well. So what you're going to need for this stamp set, and these are photopolymer stamps. So the stamps that I'm going to be using are the tree stamps, the sentiment, every kindness makes the world brighter, and this water stamp. And I'm going to need the moons. Let me go ahead and grab that real fast and put that on a block and set it right there. You're also going to need a piece of WHISHPER white cardstock, which is going to be your base card, and this is cut at 5.5 at 4 1/4. We're going to layer with Night of Navy, and this is at 5 1/4 by 4, and what we're going to stamp on is going to be Pacific Point, and this is cut at 5 3 3/4. You're also going to need a Night of Navy ink pad, the WHISHPER white ink pad, the Pacific Point, and this wonderful ribbon that is from the A New Occasions catalog that is in Night of Navy. We're going to use that for our trim. I'm also going to cut out the sentiment using our stitch shaped framelits, and this is the third framelit in the set, third one in, and this fits perfectly over our sentiment. And I've used for embellishment, I have a couple of rhinestones, and you can see I've pretty much used this up. So this is the Stampin' Up! Rhinestones that come in the annual catalog. I've just used all mine up for all kinds of Christmas projects. So there you have it. Let's go ahead and get started. Because these are photopolymer stamps, I'm going to go ahead and use my stamping piercing mat. I've replaced my little label here. This stamping piercing mat has little teeth marks here because I have a little puppy that got a hold of this, and he had chewed on it, and I rescued it just in time. But I went ahead and replaced that well-loved corner of my stamping piercing mat. So I'm going to put a piece of paper over it, and I'm going to take my Pacific Point paper, and I'm going to start out with my stamping the WHISHPER white ink. And I don't use this ink very much, so what I have found is that it does tend to dry out, and if that's the case, again, what I do is I just kind of mist my ink a little bit, just a tad, and I'm going to stamp my my water feature first. And I'm going to stamp that right here. And that came out very nice. And rather than use my stamping cleaner, because this is white, I'm just going to go ahead and clean my block with the baby wipe. Otherwise, my stamping cleaning mat there will get all full of white ink. So now that I've done that piece, the other, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my trees. So let's put the white aside for now, because I'm going to come back to that. But I'm going to stamp my, my first layer of trees with this tree stamp. And I'm going to put my original one here so you can see that I'm going to kind of cover the side of my water feature here with my trees. And I'm going to use both the stamp and the stamp off method all the way around. There. Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my stamp, because now I'm going to take my Night of Navy and I'm going to do the same thing, only I'm going to concentrate more with the foreground, the front of my picture. So I want to put my Night of Navy trees right here and put them right here, and maybe stamp some shaded ones there. And there you go. That's about as far as I want to go with my trees. Clean those off. Now that I have my trees done, I'm going to go ahead and put in the rest of my features, which is going to be this big harvest moon and the stamp with all the little stars. And I forgot to put that on a block. There we go. And the stamp with all the stars. So I'm going to put my moon. I'm going to put my moon right there. That's a beautiful moon. And then we're going to go ahead and put the stars around the top. And I'm going to use both the stamp and the stamp off technique. There you go. So that's pretty much it. So we're going to put this aside because I'm pretty much finished. See how easy that was? Put that aside, and I'm going to take my take a piece of Whisper White, which I should have here. Hold on, let me find it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I just have a piece of Whisper White here. I'm just going to flip this around, and I'm going to take my sentiment stamp, this one right here that says, "Every little kindness makes the world brighter," and I'm going to stamp half of it with the Pacific Point, and then I'm going to open my Night of Navy, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other half of the stamp, because what I'm trying to do is kind of get an ombre effect. Okay, and we're going to just put that right there. And I'm going to have to do it again because it didn't quite pick up the blue. So let's go backwards. Let's do the blue first. And then let's take the Pacific Point. And then let's go ahead and stamp that one right there. Much better. There you can see kind of that ombre effect that we get between the Pacific Point and the Night of Navy. So let me close up my ink pads. I am going to use my magnetic base plate with my framelit here. Just run that through the Big Shot. Just like to run those back. Okay, so we have this piece here, and we have our card front. We're going to put this right here, and we're going to add our Night of Navy ribbon right there. So let's go ahead and cut a piece of ribbon. And I can use a little bit of my snail on the back of my ribbon. Right there. Fold this back here, fold that back there. Then I'm going to get my tear tape, and I like to put my tear tape right over my ribbon like that. It kind of holds it in place. So let's open it up, and let's take our Pacific Point and our trees. There you go. So every little kindness makes the world brighter and the hard times easier. What a lovely card. It's all done. That was fast. That was probably less than 18 minutes to do that card. Here's the original card. Let me get my bone folder to make sure this closes. And here are some other options using this this stamp set, the Waterfront Stamp Set. I made this card just simply using the Night of Navy and stamping with Night of Navy and adding some rhinestones. This was my first attempt. This was a very, very easy card. Again, using all of the different stamps, the mountain stamps, double stamping, the mountains. I went ahead and stamped the sun orange, and then I used my alcohol marker in Pool Party and made the sky, and then I blended using both the light and the dark daffodil and a little bit of the pumpkin, and kind of blended that a little bit. Went ahead and used some Pacific Point and created this waterscape, as well as using both the artichoke, always artichoke, and the old olive to do that. I put this on chocolate chip cardstock, and I used the embossing folder, the vertical line embossing folder. You can see it right there to give it some texture. And then I did the same thing with the inside as I did with this card, using the brown, which is basically, I think it's crumb cake. So there you go. Some fantastic options with the Waterfront card. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like it and follow me on my blog. This is Kat Chancellor with Stamp Art Connection. Happy stamping.